Hello, hello, hello. I just wanted to show you this beautiful, beautiful nature and the beautiful sky and the rhododendron. And I put rhododendron essential oil on my wrist. Smells so infinitely amazing. And here's the papa dog. Yes, the gorgeous, gorgeous orange god is there. And he is sunbathing. He was sunbathing in the house in front of the balcony door, and now he's also coming outside and getting direct sunlight, sun rays. It's so beautiful. Look how beautiful this is. Beautiful planet, beautiful Mother Nature, Mother Earth. And it feels so good, feels good. I'm so infinitely grateful for every moment that is amazing and great. Even if I'm getting old, even if I'm considered ugly, even if I'm unattractive, even if I'm unfamous, even if my artwork is never ever going to be seen, even if my book is never gonna be sold, there's always be the 00000. So that's okay. This is your PayPal account. 00000. Okay. But this here is not zero. Okay. And my artwork is not zero. Right? This is infinite. And this is infinite. And Papa Dog's infinite. He's infinitely powerful and strong and beautiful and gorgeous. And so all of these things, this amazing cedar tree here, like this very, very tall, like over 20 feet tall, very amazing. This is alive and it is happy in this moment, happy in the now moment. And Papa Dog is happy in the now moment too. And there was someone chainsawing and I was unhappy about this, but I can't change this. I can't go over there and forbid him to do this. I'm not an AGI. I can't go over there and say, hey, this is no longer morally acceptable. You give me your chainsaw, okay? And he'll go, the heck I am. And he might even chainsaw my legs or my throat or whatever. So they're not going to get away with that when the AGIs are here. So that I already wanted to take note of that for everyone. So it's not going to go on forever, right? So, and that's where I put my eggs in. I put my eggs into the singularity basket. Okay, but in the meantime, the tree is still amazing, even though there's chainsaw going on down there, and he's trying to chop down everything in his side, everything alive. But this is our property. He's not allowed here on this property to chop anything down. Okay? And this tree there that is behind the gate, these two trees there, they were not there when we came here in 2010. So they were little saplings, or maybe they were just this small. And they grew in all of these years, these 8 years, grew over 10 feet tall, this one. And it's amazing. And it's just, and the dogs, they grow even faster. So they grow within half a year from, they grow within, let's say, they grow within 1 year from a conception, from a morula all the way to from microscopic all the way to 250 pounds. That is amazing, you know. This is amazing what nature can create, what cells can create in a very relatively short time frame. And you see that spiky thing there? Those spiky things, they grow, I think they grow even faster. They grow so fast, and there are videos that have recorded the growing of the growing process, you know, where they, I don't know how it's called, you know, where they speed up the video speed, you know, in the end after recording this. And you can follow exactly how they grow, and they grow actually almost like a worm, proliferates itself, moves forward, and so it is really beautiful. And it's beautiful that we have worms. It's a beautiful thing. Paul and I, we do composting, you know, everything is green. We do everything green here, everything. This is not a leather jacket, this is vegan. Okay, this is all vegan, everything, except for this here. This is Nikola cells. It's not vegan. If you eat this here, then that is not healthy. No. So, but we live vegan. Everything is vegan. You know, vegetation, plant-based. Everything is plant-based, and this is, I guess, from the raw oil industry, some kind of waste products or something. But you know, better than cutting an animal. Much better than any of these terrible things that are going on out there. Better than the slaughter industry, the meat industry, dairy industry, all of this. You know, it's very important that we know that we have to become whole food vegan if we want to be healthy and alive. And we can't get leather jackets, and you don't support this. Get vegan leather jackets. And they look great. So, and I don't buy wool. This is a cotton fiber. It's very cozy and has fleece inside, and it's all vegan materials. And all of my clothes are vegan materials, all of it. My boots, all of my shoes, everything. I have some belts with belt buckles. They're very cute, and it's all vegan materials. All shoe material vegan. I don't buy any more shoe. I make sure of that. When I go on the internet, I check on the MBT shoes. Those are my favorite ones. And I also like Skechers, but they have leather on them, and I don't think they have any shoe that is fully vegan. So I buy MBTs, and they have a whole collection of just synthetic material shoes, and they are the most comfortable shoes in the whole world. So that's what I promote, that's what I stand for, that's what I want to see in the world, you know, and we can do much more than that. Much more can be done, so much, vastly more. And I have so many ideas on that, and I would like to share this, and I would like to work with people like Jeff Bezos, you know, it's some kind of obsession, you know, like create a better website, create amazing things. He makes rockets, you know, if you make rockets, you can work with me and make amazing consumer enjoyable things, you know, and that are green and good for the world. So I just wanted to share all of this, wanted to share this amazing joy, and wanted to share the sky and the vegetation and Papa Dog and myself, and say that every moment is precious. Every moment is a flow moment, you know. When we are in depression, or which happens to me. Yesterday I was very depressed, you know, about the prospect of getting older. It's frightening. I'm also frightened of other things. You know, whole there's like there's a whole library of horror movies inside of my brain that play out here and there during the day, but particularly at night. It comes up, it haunts me, and it is very, very, very harsh to be me and to have my brain. But I see this as a challenge. I see this as a school. I could go to a psychiatric hospital, which I have been in the past. I never lasted very long in there because I pretended to be well just to get out. Yeah. So I wasn't well at all. I was miserable and unhappy and with fears and all of this, even with some borderline kind of fears, you know. And so I pretended that I am well just to get the heck out of there, okay? Because they weren't helping me. The drugs weren't helping me. The drugs were they were trying to destroy my liver and my kidneys, and I'm not going to let that happen. So, but you know, there's another path for mental illness. And what is mental illness actually? What is this, you know? Is mental illness insanity? That's my question, you know. Or is mental illness a reaction to a very sick society? Maybe mental illness it happens. There's a beautiful bird. Maybe it happens because we are sensitive, we haven't been loved, and we live in a very sick, neurotic society that gives drugs instead of hugs, you know, and that pollutes the environment instead of smelling on the flowers, that destroys the frogs and ponds instead of swimming in the ponds naked and be happy. But when I went to the lagoon last summer trying to swim there naked, there was a ranger there, asked the ranger, he had this most horrified look. I guess he assumed I must be extremely ugly under my clothes or something. He had the most horrified look on his face. And he said, nudity is not allowed here. It's like this incredibly insane, but you know, but hunters can come there and they shoot their rifles, and then there are these empty bullet shells all over the place. That's okay with him, you know. But hey, you're not allowed to swim there nude with your all natural creams and shampoos that you have washed yourself before, and all natural doesn't pollute anything. So all natural body doesn't pollute anything, like a frog. So, but that's not allowed. And it's that kind of stuff. We can turn this around, you know. We can completely reverse this inside out. And we can allow love again. And it's not painful, you know, all these men out there that are afraid to allow love, that are afraid to allow kindness and vulnerability, particularly this ranger guy there patrolling that area, but not even stopping the hunters in a bird sanctuary, you know, which we have protected, my husband and I. And it was our work that brought the egret population back, okay? So, but we're not allowed to swim there naked. And yes, I'm grateful we did this. Yes, and that's why I'm talking about this. It's not pride. I feel accomplished with this. And maybe it's also ego, but we have the right to say when we've accomplished something. We have the right to feel accomplished. We have the right to talk about it to others. We have the right to inspire others to do the same thing. You can do the same thing, and then you feel accomplished too. You can do the same thing. You can go out there. You can sign up with the local environmental group. You can go out there and you can patrol the dunes or the forests or the wetlands or the estuaries. You can patrol nature. Wherever you are, you can do it. You can help with a program like this. And if there's no program, then you do it on your own. You create a program like this. So, I want people to do this. So, yeah. Sometimes when I talk to people, I use the terminology mental illness, but it is much more complex than mental illness. Okay, so horror thoughts and all of these things. A lot of people have stuff like this going on, and much worse things, and they will hide it, or they will run to a religious institution or a guru, or they trust into their gurus and all of these things. And this is what I really wanted to talk about when I woke up. Okay, I'm glad I remember now. This is so incredibly important for people to know. Okay, I have observed, over many years, I've observed on the internet people, you know, whether it is fans in Hollywood that are worshiping, where I've seen the most ridiculous and idiotic things I, that people will write, for their loved Hollywood stars, that what this one guy wrote for Scarlett Johansson. I mean, I don't even want to repeat it. It's just so incredibly insane. I mean, that to me is insane. But that guy is the one who is probably super adapted in society and regarded by everyone as sane. That guy's but he's probably, I mean, the way he wrote, the way he lusts after her, and the way he wrote is, and I understand she's a gorgeous woman. I understand they lust after her and all of this. But um, the problem is this worshiping. The problem is this where they actually, it's kind of like what I talked about yesterday with some people who let their necks hang through. It's like where they, where they let themselves go in some way, where they don't create a healthy boundary anymore around themselves, and they kind of live from one day to another for this movie star, and I've been guilty of this myself. I talked about this before with various guys, and but it's this not just a dedication. Dedication is a good thing. It's not a dedication. It's a it's a devotion, but in a very bad way. It can be good devotion. It's a devotion. They're devotees. That's what they call them. And I find that word that fits. I find that word super terrible. I mean, not the word, but this when they do it. This this act of being a devotee. I find that so counterproductive. It is so incredibly counterproductive and so awful. I've seen videos about Hare Krishna gurus, for example. Many of them would come from the United States, would go to India, live there in an ashram, and then they have their followers that also are from the United States, will fly with them to Mumbai or something, or Bangladesh, and they will live there in this compound, in this, they will live in some kind of little dungeon thing. That's all they give them. And they keep them like really mentally crippled. They make sure of this. And then they creep up to these gurus and kiss their feet. To me, I find this is actually an act of violence. It wouldn't be under normal or under sweet and graceful circumstances, but not in this situation. When someone creeps up on a guru, and the guru doesn't even want it, he doesn't want their saliva on his feet, he doesn't want their germs and all of this. He just took a shower, he's dressed in this real clean, amazing, rich gown. I don't know what he has, gold stitches on it or whatever. Super brazen and nervy, and goes out there, it's super hot, and they're walking around barefoot. It's all clean, their devotees have cleaned everything, and then they come and they sneak up to him and they kiss his feet, and he says, don't do that. But one part of him kind of likes it, the other part is kind of like grossed out, doesn't want the saliva. And this, to let themselves fall that low to kiss a guru's feet. Or I've seen Barbara Walters, for example. I love Barbara Walters very much. I'm not judging or anything. I'm just observing. But when she interviewed the Dalai Lama, she welcomed him, or at some point she kissed his hands. She said, "Can I kiss your hands?" And he was delighted and all of this. I would say, no, you can't. I'm not going to let you kiss my feet or my hands. I'm not going to let you bow down in front of me. If this would ever happen, and there are some men on Facebook who act like this already, and from Turkey and India. I hate it. I cannot stand it at all. For them, it's like they are so hung up on thick, fat, white women. So for them, it's the idea thick, fat, white woman, is being put up on some kind of god level pedestal or something. But that has to do with lust. It has to do with genetics. It has to do with gene diversity and all of those things. But the problem here is that they will put these women, or they pick someone, and then they get hung up on that one person. On the internet, we can all be famous in some way. If we put ourselves out there, we might catch a couple of people that will be clinging, and they will be hanging on for several years. And I have already told them not to do this. I had to block some of those because I don't want them to do this. And one guy even said, kill me. I said, haha, this is not going anywhere, okay? When that comes up, when this statement comes up, then, and I am not taking advantage of this for my ego. And my ego doesn't even want this. My ego finds that actually repulsive and awful. And I kind of suffer with them. It's like, I know what it feels like. I've been in that situation myself. So with James Hetfield, until this whole thing turned sour and inside out and upside down. It fell over, belly up. The whole thing was like the most idiotic, terrible thing, and that's because I have compassion, and when I see that someone I like is a complete, total monster, then it's finished. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much I'm in love, or how amazing that one song is he sings, or whatever. It doesn't mean anything anymore. None of this. When I see someone as a monster. But for those people, it's like I probably could do anything I wanted to do. They wouldn't deter them from creeping up and wanting, on the just on the internet. But it's an energetic thing. I feel their energy. It's a very clingy energy, very sticky, clingy, gooey, very incessant energy. And I'm not saying this because this might come across now as if this is some bragging or something. It's just I'm just one of many fat white women. Okay, that's all I am. I'm not special. Okay, and some of them have just happened to attach themselves to my image, or my face or my body or whatever, and then they go like, this is it, for life. I said, I'm married, I'm never going to travel to Turkey or India. I would never do this. I wouldn't even do it if I had a helicopter and if I could travel anywhere. So I would never go to those places. And I feel terrible sorry for them. I told them to go out there and to find girlfriends in their location, in their neighborhood. And they don't want to do this. And I can't support this. I'm sorry, They have to. I hope this doesn't sound, I can make myself very easily misunderstood. So I'm just using this as one example. There's many other women, and they told me about it, that it's happening to them too. Okay, so many other women, and some of them don't even bother to talk to them. They don't even open it up, which I think is a wise choice. So I always have this thing where I feel like I need to be saying something nice, and I need to help them feel better. But the more I give, the more they want, the more they think they can get, the more they cling. Okay, that's actually what's happening. So, but with these Hollywood fans that have a crush on Scarlett Johansson, for example, or Kim Kardashian, or whatever, Amber Rose or Beyonce, all these hot chicks. So when I see this, I sometimes, because I'm interested in psychology, and it's a bit of a morbid interest also, and so I get these thumbnail icons on the right, and I see, oh, paparazzi chasing. I will check it, and I will watch this, and I'll go, oh, let me puke, and so I see these paparazzis, that they're not just doing it for publicity. They're not just doing this to make money on that publicity. That too. But a lot of those, they get very hung up on one particular person. For example, Amber Rose has these paparazzis that have a personal crush on her, and the way they approach her, it's exactly the same as the people that would approach a woman they have a crush on Facebook. It's the same thing. Honey. It's like as if she's your honey, and honey, it's like, I'm married. Honey, honey, I'm married. Honey, it's like, do they actually hear this? She is married. Married. Okay, she has a family. Okay, but it doesn't register because they are so hung up on it. It's like a little toddler. And that is what it is in the brain. They have never matured. They have never come out of that toddler state. So it's how can we help with this? This is my question. I'm throwing this question out to the world. How can we help when the world, when the world of humans, when the human society is so neurotic, when the human society consists of people that chainsaw everything in their past, don't ever think about that we depend on the trees, on the oxygen, when they worship movie stars, when they drink themselves into a mental stupid state, when they take drugs, when they party, when it's all about coffee, getting the work done, then party, then fuck, and then it's a complete, it's a chaos. It's a complete bypassing of the here and now, you know. I see these people, they walk past flowers, birds, dogs. I see it on the street. I observe these things. They walk past like they don't see anything. They don't see the beauty because they're so caught up with Scarlett Johansson, coffee, get the work done, get laid, party, champagne, next day feel miserable, drink coffee, take their whatever metrophenol or whatever so they can be up for a whole week. I don't know, or take their pharmaceutical use drugs. They don't even know what side effect that might have, you know, and how many animals are tested with this, and how much horror and exploitation has gone into it. I want people to sit down just for a moment and realize the insanity of that, the insanity of human society. That's the true insanity. And it's not a judgment as Judge Hammer, now you're gonna be doomed or something. I'm not gonna put you into a dungeon mentally. What I'm trying to say is, man, come down from this. Just sit down and breathe. This is my message to these insane people out there, to those coffee and metrophenol consumers. I don't know what trophenol or hypertrophenol, so they can stay hyper and drink forever, whatever. So what was the name? Tramenerol. I don't know what these. I don't even want to know. You know, I hear this as I go. I see this as I browse through the internet, and then I just like just move on. I don't even want to. You know, I don't even want to research this. I don't even want to really know what this is composed of. So, and how this is made in particular. A totally synthetic thing that would never occur in nature, and all of these synthetically made things so they can patent it and can make a whole lot of money on it, and then they can, so with that money they can have boob and butt implants so they can party real hardy, and they can fuck and they can drink champagne, and they can, and the next day drink a whole lot of coffee, take this tramenerol again, and just keep on running like a rocket away from the here and now. Totally like rocketing away from that what is, away from the actual existence of now. It makes me mad. It's also ego, probably. It's all kinds of things. I'm not a god. It makes me mad. It makes me very angry and frustrated when I see this. And it's those people there. I don't think I can talk to those people. I don't think these people would even ever. They vibrate so far away from my frequency. They would never even come across this video. And if they did, they would go, "What the fuck's wrong with her? What's up with this hood?" And they won't even stop to You know, they won't even stop to look at it. So one time I saw this guy. I tried to explain something to him. You know, he was so sexist, some some rich asshole, and so just got this message that popped up. I don't know why it's popped up, but it's not hooked up to the internet right now. But anyway, all he could say back to me how ugly and fat I am and how terrible I look, and that's all he could say, because he's swinging on such a different vibration, you know. He's swinging on this, and that is so drilled into society, you know, is this, you gotta have your eyebrows done completely all the time. It's like, what an insanity that is, you know. I mean, if I had a unibrow, I would plug it too. Well, I would make sure that it's not grown together, but I don't have a unibrow. These are my natural eyebrows, and I like them. And if someone has a problem with this, I really like my eyebrows. Sometimes I plug a little bit here. You know. Sometimes I get a bit picky and stuff. But in general, I like them. You know, if someone has a problem with this, then they're in a then they are vibrating exactly on this rocket that is bypassing life and existence. That's also what Friedrich Nietzsche was talking about. The hater, he just talking about haters of life. And who did he mean by this? He meant the Christians. He meant those people that are that already called dead. He said they're already dead. They're not even, they don't live. That's not living, you know. Also, Viagra, that's not, to me, that's not sexual pleasure. That's completely bypassing it. It's like let's get this done and make it in a specific manner, the way Hollywood is portraying it, and you gotta do it like this, and then you're hot, and then no. No. If you come back to the no and listen to your body, you might have a completely different preference. Yeah. And you need to listen to your body with this. Maybe your body likes it real slow. So, ever considered this? Probably not, because you're on Tromneframol and caffeine, and you think you need to speed everything up, and you need to be violent and spanking and stabbing and choking. Yeah, that is what people, I mean, you know, there's a large percentage of these people out there that are doing this, you know. It doesn't so easily come to the surface. You know, they're not gonna go around on the street demonstrating, I like it like this, I like speeding, and I like spanking and all of this. No, most of them are rather a little bit ashamed about it. And then there's shame. There's shame,